Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily. It is Thursday the 21st of December. The news today, Everton made their annual visit to Alderhay today. Really worthwhile cause, spending time with some of the sick children who are at the hospital. And I think it's really important that this kind of thing is highlighted. I know a lot of clubs, we've seen some fantastic videos on Twitter this week from various clubs. Liverpool, of course, we've seen that last week with the Evertonian booing a few of them when they come in, and we've seen more of them doing stuff in the school, and now Everton have gone into Alderhay as well today. And it's really important to give these kids who are not well at the moment, give them a boost. And I think it's lovely for the players to actually see that as well, and keep them give them a little bit of a reality check as to real life rather than just the world of football. But it's always good to see the pictures of the lads there at Alderhay, and like I say, prayers and everything else to the children and the families of the children who were there for Christmas, because obviously at this time, there's a lot of other things in your mind, running around and getting presents or whatever it may be. But there is people who, for this year or for many years, Christmas is a difficult difficult time of the year for various reasons, for various pressures, illness being one of them. And I just think it's nice to see the team going in there to Alderhay. So well done to Everton, as usual. On to football matters. A story today that Sam Allardyce is not going to let James McCarthy or Sandro Ramirez leave Everton in January after they impressed in the behind the closed door game on Tuesday. Now, I don't know whether he would have let McCarthy go anyway, but obviously Sandro Ramirez has been heavily linked with a move back to Malaga. Just hasn't gone for him at all, has it? He's been in and out the side early in the season. He disappeared for months, and then he came off the bench on Monday night in Monday's 3-1 home win over Swansea. Last few minutes, Adam Lookman may have slipped him in, and he might have been able to get himself on the score sheet. But apparently he's done really well on Tuesday and give Sam Allardyce food for thought, and that's what we need. We need these players being able to give Sam Allardyce a reason to include them in the side, or to certainly make him think these could have a future if we get these tactically right, get them fit, get them aware of what we want. These players can make a difference, because remember how excited a lot of Evertonians were in the summer when we got Sandro Ramirez. We beat off Atletico Madrid and a few other clubs were looking at him, and we were delighted he chose us, and it just hasn't happened for him. Same with Davy Klaassen. I've said it many times, I'd hate them to go out the door in January without them even having a chance here. And I'm not saying either of them will put the roots down and be fantastic here, but we don't know, because they simply haven't been given the opportunity. So hopefully Sandro will get the opportunity, as will Klaassen, in the near future. James McCarthy, the injuries are curtailing him. He's someone I think would thrive on being able to just get back on with this job. He done okay for Ronald Koeman at times last season. He come in at Chelsea in the Carabao Cup this year, and I thought he'd had a really good game for an hour, went off and his hamstring had gone again. So obviously every game James plays, you're kind of waiting for the news that his hamstring's gone again, which is not great. But hopefully he can stay injury free and become an asset for this squad. One player who looks as though he will be going out the door in January is Kevin Mirallas. Olympiacos and Galatasaray both keeping tabs on the Belgian wide player. I don't think any Evertonian will be bothered if Mirallas leaves in January. I think, certainly for me, he's had too many false dawns and too many opportunities, I suppose is the right word. He flatters to deceive. There's a player in there, but it's how often it comes out is the real worry. But Kevin Mirallas looking as though he will be out the door in January. A lot of people, just back to the Alderhay thing, Ross Barkley was on the picture today, and people saying, should I be reading more into this than it was? I think Ross will go in January. I think it's gone on too long. We've heard nothing. Sam Allardyce is here. We've heard nothing. And I just think maybe Everton will probably look and say, yeah, let's see what we can get for him in January and get him out the door. Steve Walsh went over to Lille to watch Bakary Suleiman is it? I don't know how you say his name. 25-year-old centre-back playing for Lille. Lille drew the game. Clearly, Sam Allardyce putting it out there, what we all know we need, which is a centre-back. We've been linked, of course, with Johnny Evans as well. So, you know, it's an area we need to strengthen. There's no question about that. And, you know, even with the improvements of Ashley Williams, who's been really good of late, you know, we need Michael Keane there. But, you know, we've got Phil Jagielka and Ashley Williams, who are 35 and 33 respectively. Obviously, Mason Holgate's form has been excellent, but we need 3 younger centre-backs, and that is obviously why the likes of Steve Walsh are going out to watch players like the Lille centre-back. Johnny Evans is that bit older, isn't he? 29, but full of experience. So it'll be one of them with that. And another young lad, Joe Bryan, who plays for Bristol City, scored against Manchester United last night in the Bristol City 2-1 win in the Carabao Cup. Young left back, nice left foot on him. Everton keeping tabs. Been watching him for a while. So it'll be interesting to see whether they actually make a move for him. But January, obviously, a couple of weeks away. Really interesting to see what Sam Allardyce does, but also the players who he lets go. Obviously, we just spoke about Kevin Mirallas. You know, looks as though he's not prepared to let James McCarthy or Sandro go. Maybe Bezic will go out the door. You know, maybe Schneiderlin, and we'll see what other players he thinks are surplus to requirements, which will then free up, obviously, a couple of places in that 25, because the squad is full at the moment. And things like FFP, in terms of balancing up wages, players have to go out. Anyway, I think the money, there's no problem with the money to bring them in, but it's having the room to fit them into that 25-man squad. And we really need 3/4 players coming in January. Centre forward. You know, I personally think we need a wide player, but a centre forward, centre back, and a left back. And obviously, Steven and Zonzi linked again. So that would put question marks over Bezic, over Schneiderlin's future. And listen, if you got Nzonzi in, yes, those players can be pushed out the door, because he's obviously a rangy midfield player who can get about the pitch a bit quicker than those two. So it'll be important. Got to be really interesting. Anyway, that's it. If you haven't subscribed, give us a subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell notification button. And if you want more videos, join us on Patreon. I'll see you soon on Toffee TV.